Hello, I'm Dr. Kim Duramo, and I want to welcome you to the MindBody TV Chill Summer Series. We created this series to assist you moving through anxiety, stress, depression throughout the summer so you enjoy your summer, have as much freedom and well-being as possible. So I put together some of my favorite MindBody TV episodes specifically addressing anxiety and depression. And if you would like to go further with this, we have created the MindBody solution for anxiety and depression as an option to go deeper. We've had immense success with this program, with many individuals getting off medications for anxiety and depression. And we have added, if you already own this particular program, you'll want to check it out again because we've added several bonuses right now. The link to purchase the program is at drkimd.com/anxiety. And we've added, I'm going to just share some of the specifics because they're really, really powerful pieces we put in there as bonuses. So there is the audio for self-esteem to resolve loneliness, insecurity, and fear. This is a major sort of underlying energy that creates that sort of like background level, generalized anxiety and depression. The joy and freedom meditation, which is, I've had so many people tell me that absolutely like gave them an up level in their baseline of joy, freedom, well-being. So really powerful audio. An audio to release anxiety, fear, and stress, and another audio to release depression and fatigue. So these are all really powerful bonuses we put into the MindBody solution for anxiety and depression. It's really 2 programs in one. So check it out if you have struggled with anxiety and or depression. There's a couple other pieces I put in there that are massive. Sleep has been found to be a major issue a lot of people are struggling with. So there's an audio for enhancing sleep to awaken refreshed, joyful, and at peace. This is a way to like repattern your nervous system to do the work for you. So that's another bonus that's in the MindBody solution for anxiety and depression. We also have a whole piece on how to use EFT for anxiety. This was massive for me. I've shared this with many younger adults who were experiencing severe anxiety, who no longer needed therapy. They were able to reverse this because they were able to do EFT tapping on themselves. Breathing to end anxiety, and then there's a bonus call with the MindBody mentors. That's a recording that you'll have as well. So if you haven't checked out the MindBody solution for anxiety and depression, it's at drkimd.com/anxiety. If you have, revisit it again because you're going to love these new bonuses that we put in. All right, enjoy your episode for this week's MindBody TV Chill Summer Series, and I'll see you in a bit. Hello, everyone. Hi, we're here from MindBody TV. I am Dr. Kim Duramo. Welcome to everyone who is listening, who's tuning in. I love hearing from you and where you're tuning in from. We've had quite an amazing international audience, and I'm so grateful to see how many people are open to this kind of information and open to really tapping the wisdom within yourself instead of really just always looking outside yourself for the answers. So for those of you who don't know me, I am a physician who is sharing about how the body heals itself and how we can activate that specifically when we have chronic illness that's not getting better no matter what we do, chronic pain, chronic fatigue, anxiety, and depression. There's so many people living in these states, but there's actually a lot of science that we have to understand this and a lot of really powerful tools we have to activate healing. So welcome to our broadcast today. I am going to share about what to do when you hit bottom. This was actually inspired by my daughter. She's brilliant. She's 8 years old. And for some reason has just really been interested in what I'm sharing. So I would be sharing the write-up each week when I would write it. And she got really excited about this. So then I said to her the other day, hey, what should I talk about this week? Usually it's really clear. It's a prominent theme each week. And this week I was kind of thinking about it. And she said, I think you should talk about And then she described what I'm going to share in this broadcast, which is when you're really at the bottom, like physically, mentally, emotionally. I don't know what to do. I can't live like this anymore. Whether it's a chronic illness or a situation that you're dealing with that you're like, I can't see my way out of this. And you just feel like I am at my wit's end. I am at my bottom. What do I do? So that's what we're going to be sharing today. And it's actually when you understand that your body is made of energy, we are first and foremost energy and secondarily physical, it actually makes a lot more sense what I'm going to share today and how easy it can be to unwind things that seem impossible. So if you've had severe anxiety or depression, even if you're diagnosed on medication, I have seen this allow people to resolve. Severe chronic illness that's not getting better, like autoimmune illness, digestive disease, multiple chemical sensitivities, things like MS, or pain syndromes, chronic pain, migraine headaches, physical back pain, neck pain, whatever it may be going on in your body, fibromyalgia. If you feel like you're at your bottom, where do you go? So this is also not just the physical. You've got to realize it's always, when we feel like we're at the bottom, it's always, always, always involving the mental and emotional. If it's just physical and we're actually doing really well mentally, emotionally, we're feeling good, we're feeling clear, we feel empowered, we literally can deal with just about anything physically and continue to be resourced and work our way through it, especially if we understand what's going on, what I need to do about it, when is this going to end, and what can I do to resolve this? We don't tend to get to that bottom mentally and emotionally where we're so overwhelmed, we're at our wit's end, and we're just, we've lost it. It's really when it's physical, mental, and emotional that is when we really kind of tend to be at our limit. So what do we do? It's actually a rewrite. Always, always, always what's happening is happening for us, not to us. And especially in those spaces where we feel like life is just bringing us deeper and deeper, deeper into like the heaviness, the despair, the powerlessness, like no matter what I do, this isn't getting better. No matter how many practitioners I see, no one knows what to do with me. And we get to that point, there's always a process in place that's actually serving us, even though it can feel like a curse. So I want to welcome everyone here who is joining live. Hello, Annika from Sweden. Great choice. I love this subject. Oh, good. Linda from England. MindBody Kids Adventures. Hello, Mom. Rita joining from British Columbia. Love being here with you all. Julia from New Zealand. First time to see you here live. Awesome. Jenna from the Heartland in Central Iowa. Awesome. Karen, Ann, Amanda, Karen from San Francisco, Janet from Nevada, June, Liam, Jeria, British Columbia, Vancouver. Awesome. Rachel from the UK. Sylvia, the timing couldn't be better. I just hit rock bottom the last few days. Suffering from health anxiety and got food poisoning and just thought I will die. I'm so sick of this. That is pretty good explanation of bottom. Awesome. Barb's, Inte, how to deal with acute stress and anxiety, especially in college. I wanted to drop out, but I can't because my family won't let me. So yeah, when we're at bottom, it will feel like there's no out. Like, oh, if I could just get out of here, but I can't. So we'll not find an out. So I'm going to show you today how we actually allow the out to show up or allow the resolution. Good, good, good. Louisa, Montreal, Canada. Yvonne, Deborah from Milwaukee. Great. Anita from the Netherlands. Great, great, great to see you guys. Another one from Sweden, Michigan, New Brunswick. All right, so we're going to start, very relevant for us in lockdown. Hello, beautiful Antonella. I've been thinking of you a lot. Okay, so, and hello to everybody who is in Instagram here as well. All right, so what's actually happening when we're at bottom? And someone described perfectly, like there's no way out. Well, if I could do that, then this would get better, but I can't do this. Or I had a private session with someone the other day, and it was like all this major kidney disease
and like GI problems, nausea, diarrhea. Oh, if I could just resolve the GI problems, then I could resolve the kidney and, the urinary problems with like bladder infections. And the way it was all lined up in her head was like, once this gets taken care of, then that can get taken care of. But it was like a catch-22. There was no way out because, nothing was getting taken care of. So I want to invite you first. And this is the most important part. We've got to feel into the energy we are in. It is never, ever, ever, ever about the physical situation. Meaning, it seems like for our friend here who's like, I just want to leave college and then it would make me feel better, that's the out, that would actually allow resolution. And then I'll feel better, I'll feel lighter, I'll heal. Or this person the other day, if I could just get my diarrhea under control, then I can take these supplements that help the urine and I could get the other thing under control as well, and my kidneys won't go into full-blown failure. It always seems like if this, then that, right? If this, then I'll be free, then I'll feel better, then I'll have a solution. But I want you to actually feel into the energy of where you're at, which is like that hard, either feels like a rock in a hard place, or it feels like a lockdown. We're in this lockdown. It feels like locked down. So you've actually got to touch into this first. Now I know it's what we're trying to avoid and escape, but this is where the answer lies. So relax into your body wherever you are. And you could do this now so that someday when you are in the bottom, you have this on hand. So soften your body, soften your shoulders, breathe more fully, let everything go. And just be willing to feel what you feel. And I'll say, like, do a little detective work and get curious, right? What is it? What's the quality of this sensation in my body of the bottom, the hard place, the impossible, the there's no way out idea? What's the quality of it? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel sharp? Does it feel buzzing? Does it feel like if it had a color? What color would it be? Would it be black? Would it be gray? Would it be purple? Would it be, maybe there's a lightness, who knows? But if you feel and get a little curious, you're going to just observe what's the energy I'm feeling right now. So you got to soften your body, breathe more fully, and then bring into your awareness this situation, this bottom, this impossible, and then feel into it. What does it feel like to be in this space? And I'd like you to share a little bit if you notice in your body. And some people will say, I don't feel anything. A lot of times when people first start this work, they're like, I'm doing it wrong. I don't feel anything. Just soften anyway, because the brain registers the information that you pay attention to. And if you've been blocking out what's happening in your body, which most people are doing, trying to feel better, trying to get it away, trying to make the problem go away, you block out this awareness. Doesn't mean your sensory system's not registering it. I guarantee you it is. But for the conscious brain to register it, takes you practicing tuning in, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels like there's nothing here. Horribly stuck, sad and frustrated, hot and cold flashes, black and heavy and dark. Awesome. It's freaking bold, a boulder on my head. Awesome. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Heavy. Okay, good. So just noticing the quality. Sticky, green, brown, heavy mud. Perfect. Back and neck pain that feels like brittle concrete. So good, so good, so good. Okay. So let's feel into that. All you're going to do is breathe. Yes, you're going to move more fully into it. So soften. Now, this energy, so soften and breathe, just relax your body and breathe, feel exactly into what you've just described. This energy has already been there. In the mind, it seems like, no, if I could just get out of this situation, or if I could just heal my body, I guarantee you the energy has already been there. But the illness / pain / situation in your life that just won't go away is bringing your awareness to it. Why would that happen? There's a really good reason, because you can choose to continue to suppress it, avoid it, and what you resist persists, or you can choose to welcome it. Breathe right into it and allow it to dissipate. Now, I'm going to ask you to breathe into that. Do you feel it in a certain area of your body? Is it a certain size? Maybe it's bigger than your body. Maybe it's beyond you. Maybe it's in a certain spot in your body. So how big is it? Where is it located? Breathe into that. Have that awareness. Good, Kirsty, out of control, no timeline of resolution. Dull, constant red ache in pelvis. Good, so I want you to go into the sensation of it, because the out of control, no timeline is a different energy. It's a thought. It's our mental calculation of what we think this energy is, what we're making it mean, right? So it might be, I'll never get out. There's no hope for me, right? Those are the ideas and the thoughts that represent this energy. But you're actually going to go and just breathe. And I'll invite you to just go into the energy itself and feel it. Awesome. Hi, Melissa. Antonella, in my chest, like a rock, feels like it's buzzing in me. Good. That's great. Breathe right into that. Someone in Facebook, a lot of anger and depression, hard to feel into the body in a cesspool of misery. Good. So the cesspool of misery, feel into that. What is the actual quality of it? Is it dense? Is it light and smoky? Is it heavy? Is it a pressure? I want you to feel into the sensation. I'm telling you, this is the most powerful way to do it, because a cesspool of misery is still the idea about it. And yes, it's describing it, it's pointing to it, but I'm inviting you actually to begin to go into it, to embody it, the energy, the sensation. Good, Regina, I'm crying, I'm stuck, being so sad, I have so much pain. So instead of resisting feeling it, it's too much, it's too much, it's too much, I have so much pain, soften a little, just 2% more. When you soften, the energy will come up more, but just breathe anyway. And so be willing just 2% to breathe into it. So just going to do maybe 5 breaths today with curiosity. What is this? Everything that's happening, the situation, the pain, the illness that brings up these energies is happening so that you can let these go, so that you no longer carry them in your system. So we just released the MindBody solution for chronic fatigue, and there's some deeper exercise we go into with this kind of thing. But I want to still give you a touch in so you can work with your system and understand, like, wait a minute, this is happening for me. The mind will say, no way, that's impossible. This is clearly a curse. You have to fight it and avoid it and do everything you can. And we'll actually keep doing that until we realize, like, this is not working. This is just making everything worse. This is actually never going to create prosperity. So if you haven't maxed out on this, keep trying that. It will bring more clarity that the mind is never, ever going to allow a release. So feeling into the space, and thank you for doing this. Now just bring in some light with the breath. And if you don't know how to do that, just bring in breath and relax your body right into what you're noticing. Now, the point with what's coming up at bottom is, like, life is actually trying to have you go down to come up. We have to go down to come up. If you're on a trampoline, you push down and it gives you the buoyancy, and you spring back up even higher than you could have before. Or if you're standing up and you try this right now, if you're trying to jump, here we are, we're going to stand with your knees straight and you want to go up. You can maybe like push into your toes a little, and you're not going to get very far, like maybe a couple inches. But if you bend your knees and you go down, you're storing energy of power, and then you can spring up and you're going to go maybe a whole foot up in the air. It's a completely different experience. So think of the trampoline. You're going to harness the power of the down to allow you to rise up to a higher level. Now, I'm not just talking about your physical body jumping to a higher level. I'm talking about your consciousness, that you actually embody more abundance, more joy, more freedom, more vitality, more truth, authenticity of, like, wait, I'm going to express who I really am. I don't want to do it that way. This is who I really am. Okay. It's a whole different shift in consciousness, because I've had people in the Embracing Health program and they're living from the mind. What should I do? How should I be? What should I choose? And the mind is just old programs. It's never going to be an authentic expression, and it's never going to be fulfilling in any way. The reason the body develops so much disease, dis-ease, physical, mental, emotional, that's not getting better no matter what you do, is because we're not living in alignment with the essence of who we are. And that might sound like, wait, what's the essence of who I am? All you've got to do is soften the body, breathe more fully, bring more attention within yourself, actually feeling what you're feeling. And a major shift begins to happen. Instead of living from the mind, you begin to live from the true self. That might make zero sense to you, but if you begin to experience and breathe into the heaviness, as I've just asked you to, you are already allowing it to release. You will immediately feel lighter. Well, first you might feel heavier, but when you start to say yes, 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 yes to this and breathe it, you will feel lighter. Energy will move instead of being stagnant, and new things get created in your life. First, in your cells, your chemistry, your physiology, your neurons, even your DNA. And then also in your outer life, where it seems like there's no possibilities. All of a sudden, it's like, wait a minute. Here we go. I can go this way. What about this door just opened up? Things will actually appear because your perception changes completely when you do this. So I like to think of it as, you've got your whole mind body system like a giant iceberg, right? And you see what's on the surface and you're like, I gotta keep going. But you don't realize all the massive amounts of energy in your system that you're carrying in the unseen. And that is where so much of the chaos is being created. And it will have us feel so powerless when we're like, I'm doing everything possible, but we're really only living in the known, in the seen, right? Like, I'm a physical body. Let's fix the situation, not realizing I'm pure energy. There's so much more going on in the equation of me. And when I allow that to be addressed, everything can shift. So when you feel into good, core is so heavy, I can't move my legs, heavy. And when you breathe into that, just 10 breaths, Salome, I notice when I do this work and be mindful, it feels like my body is extremely sore and heavy. Good. So breathe into that heaviness. This is, you got to go down to come up. You're actually going down to unlock the chains of all the density and all the shit and all the stuff you are already holding that doesn't allow you to be free. And I've had people I've worked with say, but I used to be so free. I could do this and I could do that and I could do all these things. And then I got this illness and I'm not free. And 100% of the time when they come into the awareness, they realize they were never completely free. It was like a pseudo freedom, right? Just because I didn't know where the limits were, it felt like I was free, but it was actually totally conditional. All of the self-judgment that was there, all of the conditions that needed to be met in order for me to feel good. Once you take those conditions away, right? Like, I can't even get out of the bed. Now, how do I feel? You realize how conditional your freedom is. You realize how conditional the way you love yourself is. I'll love myself as long as I can do blah, 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 as long as I'm good enough, as long as I contribute to society, as long as I'm smart and my brain functions this way, as long as my body can do these things. It's conditions everywhere. Your body cannot be fooled, and it will eventually show up in one way or another. So relationships, right? You don't realize how conditional you're being in your relationships. Am I totally free? Am I totally loved and accepted for all that I am? And sometimes people will say, yeah, but they haven't even looked at the depth of all that they are. They're still doing the conditional, like, you can love me, I'm acceptable, I'll behave. And their whole life is revolving around, what do other people need from me? What do I need to do to make sure I get their acceptance? How do I need to behave to make sure things work out? Right? So you're living in condition. And I'm not saying this is an easy process to go through. Sometimes it seems like, if I could just go back there where it seemed so good. It's never the case. The mind will really mess you up with this one and tell you, no, go backwards, go back there, fight this with everything you've got. And like I said, you can continue to play around with that as long as you like until you get the clarity that this is never actually going to create freedom, abundance, joy, vitality, health, wealth. It's actually only going to create more problems, more stuff. So when we're ready, we go into the sticky green, brown, heavy mud, like someone here is describing. It's such a good description. Heavy chest pressure, hardness, burning eyes, stuffy, ants crawling sensation in upper back. Good. Are you willing to feel what's happening in your body? It's just energy. When we go down, we go beyond the mind and the thoughts that say, you'll never make it. Or, oh, don't go there at all costs, stay away. Or, this is just too much for you. It's going to destroy you, right? Just thoughts. What is the actual energy? We got to sense our body. We got to connect within, even just 2% more. Now, for most people, what's in there is fear. A lot of fear. Maslach said, I feel like I'm wearing a mascot costume and I want to do things and move in a direction, but the costume is restricting me and pulling and pushing me around. Yes, 100% of the people I've worked with chronic disease or chronic pain that wasn't getting better were in that same masquerade in the mind of, this is who I really am. This is who I need to be. I can't do that. And they're not even actually looking. Wait a minute. Who am I really? What's really in here? And the only way we can really know that is to come into deeper connection with our body. Yes, this can help with neck and nervous system injury. Physical injury can heal. The body obviously heals. You cut your finger, your body immediately goes to work with little platelets to like block the bleeder, bleeding vessel, little white blood cells for any like bacteria that might be in there to protect your body. All kinds of things immediately happening. And you know what blocks them from happening? You living in your mind. When we're in fear, fight, or flight, this can't happen. Even the most basic healing of a little cut on your finger doesn't happen to the same degree. It's halted, it's blocked. Because what is the body doing? No, we can't focus on healing. We're running from the tiger. I got to do this thing, right? And it's meant to be 10 seconds, maybe 10 minutes, usually not even that long. And most people are living in this for days, months, years. And that's why the body's falling apart in 100 different ways. And yeah, you can go and get 10 different diagnoses. We'll look at the labs. We'll look at the CAT scan. We'll look at the x-ray or the joint degeneration or whatever and say, yes, this is a physical process. But what started that physical process? Why is there so much inflammation, degeneration? Why are the tight junctions in the gut lining leaky and you have leaky gut? So you have multiple chemical sensitivity because the immune system's so flared up and you can only eat like 3 foods because your body's reacting against everything. Why? When I was diagnosed with severe autoimmune illness, I understood that they had the labs and the diagnosis and I had all the symptoms. But I said, wait a minute, my body's allergic to everything. Well, I'm not just going to buy it that's like the thing, like this is what's happening. Why is my body reacting? Why is my body inflamed? Why is my body responding this way to things that, just like dander in the air that are not actually harmful? Why is it so reactive? And I began to look at what's actually going on in here. What is flaring everything up? And I realized I was living in like chronic fear and a lack of acceptance of myself. I got to get better. I got to do more. I got to outrun the tiger. So what are the tigers you're outrunning? Because that's what's going to create all of this. The heaviness is what you're turning into the tiger, right? So you got this heaviness in the system, everything you just described that you don't want to meet. And now it's like, oh my God, my boss looked at me that way. I hope I don't get fired, right? Because then I'd have to meet the heaviness of maybe I think I'm a failure, or the heaviness of fear, or, whatever the dragons are, whatever the tigers are. Oh my gosh, my mom said this thing, or, oh my gosh, I looked at my bank account, or, oh my God, I feel the sensation in my body. Am I dying? And the fear comes up. Now, this is the fear that's already there. It's just unconscious. And if you are actually asking for expansion in joy, freedom, wealth, prosperity, love, your relationships, true connection, authentic expression, living fully alive every day, guess what has to be resolved in order for you to receive that? All of it's here, 100%. But are you showing up receptive? Or are you carrying all the heavy stuff that's like the bottom of the iceberg that you're not aware of? So what if the illness or pain or thing that's happening that seems like a no-win is actually there to show you where you're carrying this energy? Grief, shame, guilt, fear. I'm not good enough. And so this is a beautiful practice. I've been playing with this for a while, and I'm really feeling this shifting my life in amazing ways. Yeah, and I know Anne had lots of depression. Like, so much of this was living in her system, and she was trying to avoid it. I'm receiving so much more than I ever thought was possible. Yes, my perception has changed massively. And that's what allows your symptoms to shift and change. And that's what allows your body to heal and no longer have irritable bowel syndrome or inflammatory bowel disease or multiple chemical sensitivities or freaking MS or cancer. Yes. Beautiful. Anita, the fear because I did this before and I got abandoned by loved ones. Yep. So the pattern. So will I abandon myself? If they abandon me, if they reject me, if they tell me, who do you think you are? Right? Because it's either going to come from my mind saying it. You'll hear it in your own mind. Who do you think you are? You can't let this go. It's always going to be here. It's who you are. You'll always have this heaviness. Or a person says it to you, which is like a whole different thing. You kind of like outsource it. But it's all the conclusions you're carrying in your body somewhere. So if they say whatever they say, right? You're not good enough. That's all crap. You should know your limits. You're always going to be sick. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever they say that triggers you. Like, there's what they say, and then there's what they say that triggers you. I'm talking about the stuff that triggers you. It's always pointing to what lives in you. What are you carrying in that iceberg of your whole system that's in the unseen, right? Underneath the surface. And then we look at the tip of the iceberg. We're like, no, I'm not carrying any of that. This is what I'm seeing every single day, right? Because we're not aware of what we're not aware of. But I guarantee your body and life will bring you to this awareness. It's only so that you can release this. Breathe into it and say yes. 10 breaths. Let me know how that does, what you feel. I think I'm carrying unresolved grief. Yes, Liam. Fight or flight. So fight or flight, thank you for asking that, Gemma. Fight or flight is when your body goes into the sympathetic nervous system, which is not in our, it's an involuntary nervous system that kicks in, pumps up your blood pressure, gets you ready to run from the tiger, breathe fast into the upper lung fields, shifts your brain. So you're like, laser focus. Where's the next tree? How far is it? How fast do I need to run? Mobilizes blood and energy away from healing, digestion, big picture awareness, right? Because you don't need any of that. You're running from this tiger. So for 10 seconds, you're like, then you get in the tree, you're like, good. Now I can digest my food. But what people don't realize is like everything is a tiger. Oh my God, I'm late. It's a tiger, right? Well, you got to start looking at real versus perceived threat, which is something we're going to go into a lot more in the Embracing Health program, certainly in the MindBody solution for chronic fatigue. We go more into like, what's actually happening in here and how do I shift it? And I'll share the link for that. We just launched the MindBody solution for chronic fatigue last week. We have had amazing feedback. CF. It's drkimd.com/CF. And if someone could put the direct link in there, that will be helpful. But just beginning with where we are today, just a 2% shift will bring you out of fight or flight. Healing happens. You don't get to micromanage. Let me make sure the right amount of platelets get into that cut. Let me make sure the tight junctions in my gut come back together and I have to take all the right supplements and do all the right things. Like 99% of this is done for you, including clearing out pathogens, bacteria, viruses, spirochetes, whatever pathogens might be floating around in there. Your body's healing mechanism does it. The antibiotics help take the edge off so it's a manageable thing for your body to heal. But your body's healing mechanism has to be on board. That's why so many people will take antibiotics or medical treatments or fill in the blank, and they're not getting better. We have to activate this within the body first. Sylvia, that's probably why instead of recovering from this food poisoning within 2 days, I'm on the end of day 5 and still counting. Too much fight or flight, too little healing. Yeah, so when we come out of the fight or flight, we're like, oh, check the box, ran from the tiger, I'm good. Literally the whole system shifts. And what we come into is the parasympathetic nervous system. Para is around, so sympathetic is physically located in the spine, up and down in the thoracic spine. Para is in the cranial and the sacral. And if you've ever heard of cranial sacral therapy, you understand this is what we're activating. So in the cranial and the sacral are the nerves that innervate the body for digestion, for rebalancing, for detoxification, for absorbing nutrients and rebuilding the body. It's a whole different state. This is where we're meant to live like 99% of the time. Yeah. And that's what's happening for a lot of people who are not. Jana, I'm realizing I'm chronically operating in the sympathetic nervous system. This practice has helped me slow down and notice. Thank you for mentioning a little bit at a time is still very helpful. So much powerful. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. That's one of the next books I think I'm going to work on. That's called the 2% Solution. And it's really about how subtle shifts in our frequency and consciousness create major, major shifts in our physical. Recognizing suppressed anger. Yeah. So would you rather like avoid ever feeling that, or like, whoa, I'm really in it. I'm going down. I'm going to go down to come up. I'm willing to meet what's here. Be curious, look, breathe, even just 5 breaths, 10 breaths, 2%. So that I'm no longer carrying this, suppressing it, trying to overcome it and putting so much energy into getting beyond it, right? Avoiding it. That's so much of what we're doing when we're trying to heal a medical problem is I got to avoid this thing I don't want to feel. So what if you actually just let yourself soften into feeling it? That's how the energy moves. As soon as you stop suppressing energy, emotions are energy in motion, period, the end. This is how energy works. If you allow it to move, it's going to move. You don't have to micromanage that. Yes, Sari, it's perfect if you're pregnant. It's awesome if you're pregnant because that little baby is feeling your energy, is feeling your fear, is feeling your suppressed grief, is feeling the thing that happened when you were, 5 years old that you decided, I could never let my true self be seen. Let me just be this way. And you locked it in. Guess what that's doing to your fetus? Guess what that's doing to your chemistry? Now, don't go into fear about, what else am I doing? Just take 5 minutes, maybe twice a day, to meet these energies more fully, because that's what allows them to release and dissipate. So they're no longer affecting your body or any body that may be in you. Beautiful. Thank you guys. What is MRI? Did I talk about an MRI? Magnetic resonance imaging. It's when we do a radiologic exam to look at the body, inside of the body, so we can see the tissue of the liver, tissue of, if there's cancer cells or anything growing in the body, we want to get a look at it, and we can get more of a sense of what's happening in the tissue. Intended well. I was just thinking yesterday how much better my digestion was feeling. And then I woke up last night with digestive pain. Obviously, there's still something there. You'll go to deeper and deeper and deeper layers of density that may be still there to be resolved as you move forward. Don't make it wrong. Like, I already dealt with this. Why am I doing this again? It's a deeper layer. You'll move through it more quickly. You'll find it creates more like resolution, lightness, freedom, shift in your life. But you got to have a little bit more willingness because it's going to feel like the same density. What if I have COVID? Yes, absolutely. Why do some people carry COVID and they're like, oh, I didn't even know I was sick? Or some people, it's maybe like 3 days. And some people, something else entirely. Right? Maybe months or maybe something worse. has to do with what's happening in your system, your immune system, your digestive system, your endocrine system. And this is something that you're governing. It's hard when the fight or flight stress is because of work. Feels like you just can't get out of it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Go into the density, because the mind will be like, you can't get out of it. There's no way. It's not going anywhere. But you could project that exact same thing on a relationship and be like, this is my mother. Clearly, I'm going to always have to deal with this. And there's no way out for me. So whether you project it onto the work and you decide, I can never get away from work, I have to stay here, or it's projected in your body, like, this is my body, I'm living here, or it's projected onto a relationship, it's the same thing. The mind will just create these conclusions like, well, it's way worse for me because I was born with this. Or, hey, it's way worse for me because I have 4 people to support and I can't leave my job. You'll make a conclusion. But I guarantee you, if you're willing to just go underneath it and feel the energy that's there, you'll have a new experience. Where can we find clear steps for healing from fight or flight? One of your programs? Well, a great place to start, any of them, any of the programs will really assist in activating healing in the body, in accelerating consciousness. So you're aware of what's going on, you can release the old programs and really embody who you are. The MindBody solution for chronic fatigue, we just launched it. It'll bring you through really powerful exercises like what we're talking about today, specifically hitting bottom, where you're like, there's no way out, this is impossible. And it doesn't mean you have chronic fatigue. It's centered around like that depression, that impossible energy. So it could be a great place to start here for you, Kelly. And we'll have a live call. We'll have 2 live calls actually with it coming up in April. So for people who are joining now, you'll be attending that live call and have the chance to, we'll interact live. And for people later, it's going to be recorded. So you'll have those recorded calls and what we do there. Kayla, 24 years of anxiety and panic, 12 failed medications. Everyone has given up on me. Yeah, this is perfect, right? It's like the embodiment of that heavy energy I'm talking about. So definitely at rock bottom, I feel all these things, but feeling them hasn't changed anything. So it's different to be like, yeah, I'm feeling it. I've been feeling it for 24 years versus inviting it. Just like a little child, and that child's like screaming and you're like, I love you, I love you, I love you. When I'm holding that child, I'm not in the, come on, stop crying already. I've been holding you for 5 minutes. I've been holding you for 5 hours. What the heck is wrong with you? Like maybe people do go into that if it's been 5 hours. But the reality is, if we hold these spaces within us with complete love, complete acceptance, and the willingness, because we get why we're going there, yes, to go there, the willingness to come into these spaces versus, okay, I'll hold this little baby, but you better stop crying. It's not working. Am I embracing these parts of myself for the opportunity to love myself more, or am I embracing these parts of myself to make the problem go away, which is actually not the same thing. Unconditional love is not the same thing. Your cells cannot be fooled. Your cells cannot be fooled because it's still fight or flight. It's still to outrun the dragon or outrun the tiger, right? Okay, I'm going to do this tool. It's going to help me outrun the tiger. And in fact, I know, Antonella, this is exactly what was been happening in your system. I'm going to use these things to outrun the dragon versus I'm going to use this to remember that there is no dragon. I'm going to use this to remember that I am the power. I'm going to use this to love myself more. In every tapping summit we've done, which happens like end of February each year, that is the number one point I make. And it's like, we can't tap, if we're using EFT tapping, you use a lot of this in the MindBody solution for chronic fatigue, but in a totally different way. If we're using tapping to make the problem go away, I mean, that's good. We might get a temporary result and then it's like, it's coming back or it didn't work. If we're using tapping to nurture ourselves more, it will always create more wholeness. It will always create more health. So that is the invitation. Thank you, Kayla. Hello, can you please talk about low blood sugar for these non-diabetes? Everything is affected when we are in like fight or flight, and blood sugar, glucose tolerance is a major part of that, meaning our insulin, body's going to secrete insulin, our endocrine system balance hormones goes completely out of whack. So we have no ability to manage blood sugar. So we develop type 2 diabetes in the long term. And I've even seen acceleration of type 1 diabetes where the pancreas is like, right? Because that's an autoimmune process where the pancreas just gets taken out and can't secrete any insulin. And that ends up manifesting as type 1 diabetes. This was not previously thought to have so much to do with the fight or flight system, but it absolutely does. And that has been shown scientifically. So there's a lot that this has to do with regulating blood sugar. Thank you. I've been doing your anxiety program and I feel so much liberated. I will post in the MindBody group and the MindBody community on Facebook for more information about my transformation so far. Oh, we'd love to hear about it, Patricia. And you could share something here. In this chronic fatigue program you just lost, do you read a person's energy? I actually show you how to do it yourself, to do what we did here and feel into what's coming up and neutralize that. So it's a lot easier than you may think. Can we just know that it's just temporary? The situation's just temporary as long as you don't keep recreating it over and over and over and over, right? Everything in your body is constantly regenerating. Like every second you're regenerating cells, but you're probably regenerating them from the same blueprint of, I got to keep going because I'm not good enough. Or I got to make sure they love me because I feel so rejected. It's not okay. I have to make sure it comes from outside of me because I don't really love myself. Or I got to escape their judgment, right? Whatever I'm doing, I got to be better. I got to be more because I know I'm really not good enough. Like you're in the same template. So you're probably going to keep recreating the same thing. So it's temporary what you're feeling when you embody it willingly. I mean, it just shifts all the energy so everything can move, but it will probably deepen before it does. Oh, thank you. Sylvia. Vagus nerve, naturally nourished with Mita. Yep. What if these nerves are damaged from an injury? It's interesting how much physical regeneration we've seen the body be able to do when we come into this state, the relaxation response. So Angelique, who was in the Embracing Health program, has shared just a few weeks ago total regeneration of the connective tissue in her body, where she had a really severe connective tissue disorder, dislocation of the joints, subluxation of the joints, chronic pain all the time. Oops. Hold on a second. Oh, sorry about that. I just messed up my Instagram connection. Hold on. And was able to have a resolution of the being in a wheelchair, obviously chronic pain, lots of disease and illness that was going on in her body. And that's a physical structural illness. So yes, your physical structural body is responding. Thanks, Gemma. Recognizing the tiger lives in my house. If the phone rings or someone calls when I'm trying to do other things, I'm triggered. Wow, I'm noticing it now. Yes, so just ask real or perceived threat. Because the perceived threat is they're going to call and I need to do what they need and I'm not doing enough and I'll let someone down. And then, there's really a whole hidden process behind that. I'll fail, they'll reject me and I'll be ostracized. I won't survive and I'll die. Or, oh my gosh, I'm late. I'm not going to make it in time. And then I'll lose my job. I won't have money. I'll be on the street. I won't be able to eat and I'll die. Like it's all a perceived threat. Wait, is this actually a real threat? Is that what's going to happen if I show up late? But the mind will literally convince your entire cellular system, this is a real threat. Boom, we live in fight or flight, like all the time. So great to be able to see. All right, more coming. If you'd like to join me in the chronic fatigue program, the MindBody solution for chronic fatigue and brain fog. This is for anyone dealing with your bottom. You're like, I don't know how to find my way out. When you move the energy, doors open. Life is always on your side. This is always happening for you to release the densities you're carrying that you're not even aware you're carrying. So this is at drkimd.com/CF. If you'd like to join me, we will have a live call next week on Thursday and another live call at the end of the month. So if you get started with some of the videos, you you don't need to rush through them, but you'll be into the work enough that you'll have some really good questions for the calls, and we can assist you in integrating the work. And the Embracing Health program, where I'm working with people live, is beginning in June. Good. Thank you, guys. How do I get myself to calm down and get more clarity? So any of the tools I'm teaching, that we're doing here, but any of the stuff I've got on YouTube, the heart brain coherence is a really, really great tool for like instant alignment. Practicing these. It's always about like, when I'm in the tiger moment, do I buy into it and keep running, or do I bring myself back again and again and again? And so practicing it now, when you may be, a little more at ease, gives you that tool in your toolbox, gives you that access to create shifts in your physiologies. Awesome. I deal with hearing loss and tinnitus. Is this program suitable? Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely. Because the inflammation that's associated with that is going to really keep the rebalancing from happening, especially with the subtle mechanism in the inner ear. Sherry, oh my gosh, my dad was a huge catastrophizer and everything ended in death. I took all that forward in my life. I'm so glad I'm learning how to unpack this. Awesome. Good. All right. I love you guys. I'll be here every week, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, for in the MindBody community in Facebook or in my YouTube channel. You can subscribe if you're interested in hearing more. And we do have a team on board in both of those locations to look at the comments, to assist you and give you as much assistance with this work as possible. Thank you for joining. Thank you for the love. I will see you next week, or I'll see you in the MindBody solution for chronic fatigue and brain fog if you are interested in moving forward in that direction. There are amazing things I've seen happen as a physician, as an individual, and personally with healing in the body. So keep softening, keep looking for the possibility. What else is possible here I haven't considered? And you'll begin to see things open up in your life, open up in your body for your health that literally you could have never imagined in a million years. That's how powerful this healing mechanism is in your body. All right. I love you too. Thank you guys for being here. Bye.